Big Nick here. Okay, so this video I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks which I personally use to keep useful information in an easily accessible form when I'm conducting research or when I'm following a training program, for instance. Now, just a heads up, all the tips and tricks which I publish do assume that you, the viewer, are serious about progressing your knowledge and or your business, and that you are therefore prepared, where necessary, to invest in yourself and your projects. Some of the tools I use are paid tools. There may well be free alternatives. It's perfectly acceptable to use them, so long as they have the functionalities which I am using in the processes I'm demonstrating. Now, for this particular demonstration, I'm using the Office 365 suite, but you may well find suitable free applications. OpenOffice is one, for instance, which may do some or all of what I'm showing you here. Now, just a quick look at Office 365. I did mention investment. Now, obviously, any investment needs a return. I suppose software, to an extent, for your business is an overhead, but you can actually get hold of the full Office 365 suite, which gives you included applications which you can download and use on your desktop or laptop if you want, as well as the online applications. And this can cost you as little as £5.99 per month. So that's around $7 or so, but I don't know whether pricing is different for you, you know, if you're based in the US. These are UK prices. So for Office 365 Personal, which gives you a license just for yourself, it's £60 a year if you pay annually, or £6 a month if you pay monthly. There are other options, including business options, but one very popular one, if your family are all needing to use the applications as well, you can get Office 365 Home, which covers up to 6 users, and each user can install on multiple devices, by the way, and the price for that is just under £80 on an annual basis, or £8 per month. So that's the kind of level of investment we're looking at for the procedures I'm going to show you now. So, organisation. Now, if you're like me and you have a hard drive stuffed full of information, you may well have a folder structure that looks something like this. Now, I used to have many of the folders that you can see here nested inside one another in a hierarchical structure. But what I found was that made it very difficult at times to remember where stuff was actually stored. Some of my files could apply to multiple folders, depending on what I was using them for. And I used to try to organise that by creating hundreds of shortcuts. What a bunch of knitting I ended up with. So now what I've found is that by using the OneNote application from my Office 365 membership, I can have a totally flat folder structure and easily link to relevant files from within the pages of my notebook. And believe me, that saves masses of time. Okay, I've just created a demonstration notebook here for the purposes of this video, but just so you can have a quick look. I've got notebooks here covering various aspects of my business. And within, let's have a look at PLR, for instance. Within my PLR notebook, I've got all the details of information. Let's have a look here. PLR to do with Google, all in separate sections. I've got these are screenshots demonstrating the process I went through to buy the PLR. You can use it for whatever you want, but specifically what we're going to do today is we're going to look at from the new notebook. We're going to look at bringing together the information from a video, and I've chosen this because it allows me to show you several useful tips and tricks. Now, just to go back to my point about being easier to find stuff, if I do want to find a file from Windows Explorer for any reason, it's much easier now because there aren't folders hidden within folders. If I look at my entire hard drive as a list, there you go, I've got every folder I've got. So if I want, for instance, to check on products I'm creating, they're going to be in product creation, right? But this isn't my main organization screen. Everything is organized from OneNote. So to demonstrate what I'm on about, I'm going to show you how I personally create useful, organized, effective information repositories. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'll be utilizing one of my own videos, although I would more usually do this with a training video or a webinar recording, for instance. So here we are. My video's in YouTube. Now, YouTube is free to use. You might be asking yourself, what do I do if the video that I want to process is not on YouTube? Well, if you have the video already stored as a file on your hard drive, then you can upload it to your own YouTube account. Now, don't forget copyright issues. You don't want anybody else to access it, certainly not unless and until you're sure you've got the rights to do that. So make sure you upload it as an unlisted video and make it private. If you want to utilize, say, a webinar, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find some screen capture software and actually record the webinar yourself. Once you've recorded it, then again you can upload it to YouTube. Now you'll see why I use YouTube in a second. Now this video here is just one which I made to basically introduce people to my website. I'll just run it through for a few seconds just to Okay, so while that's running in the background, I'll just explain a few things. YouTube transcribes every video that is uploaded to it. Now, in this particular case here, if you look below the video, you'll see three little dots. If you click on the three little dots, you get the option to open the transcript. And you'll get a panel like this opening up. Now, you may find that option isn't there. Now, the reason for that will be in order to complete its transcription, the video has to be run through first. So if you have a video that you're wanting to use and then there's no transcription exists, simply set it to play. Now you can leave it running in its own tab and go and do something else if you want while it's playing, but you do need to run it all the way through in order to end up with your transcription. Now again, just have a look around the transcription. You'll find three little dots there. You can toggle all the time. Now I'm not going to use the timestamps in this particular demonstration, but I'm sure you'll be able to think of some uses and where timestamps would come in useful in anything that you yourself are trying to do. So let's just shift me out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I want basically to link to this video and also to have the transcription available to me in my OneNote notebook page. So first of all, to link to the video, all we need to do is to copy the URL, navigate back to our notebook page, and if we right click here and paste, the URL will paste itself in, and then it will resolve itself. OneNote does this automatically. So suddenly we have the video here in our notes, and as you can see, the link changes to the video title as per YouTube. Now, to keep things organized, it's useful to make sure that we name all of our pages. In OneNote, the page title goes here. So what I'm going to do, again, just a little tip here, if you right click on the link, copy the link, then right click in the title and paste, you get the link again. Now you don't want this as a link really, so again right click on it again, remove link, and you end up with the text which tells you what your notes book page is about, and it's also here as a title for indexing later. Once again, OneNote, you can search for anything, so page titles are fairly easy to find. Okay, so if at any time we later want to go back and see the video, all we need to do is come to the relevant page in our notebook, and there it is. Okay, so now if we come back to our transcription, let's see what we can do to bring this into our notes. Now, a little tip here is to make sure that once the transcription is completed, you might need to return to the video because YouTube will take you automatically on to show you other videos. So use the back button, return to your video. Make sure it's paused, otherwise you'll find when you try to copy all this lot, as you're clicking, the YouTube will try to return your cursor to the point in the transcription that the video is at. If you've got it stopped, that won't happen. Okay, so for these purposes, what I'm going to show you now, we don't need the timestamps, so let's toggle them off. Now if we come to the bottom of the video, it's our transcription. All we need to do is simply copy that, so right click, copy, and then we come across to a blank document in your chosen word processor. Now I'm using Word, which is part of the Office 365 suite. Again, you might have an alternative you already got. You might be able to use a free one, but it will need to have the following functionality in order for this method to work. So let's just first of all paste our content into the document. Okay, so that's the transcription of the video. Now if you want to make it more useful or easier to read, and maybe eventually to edit, if you're going to edit it, then what I always do is in Word, I'm clicking here to show the paragraph markings. So you need to show your editing characters. If we then go to the find and replace function, and in Word we want the advanced find, what we want to do is to find all of these paragraph markers. So I click on more, and it's a special character. There we go, paragraph marks. So when we click an action, it will find all of those paragraph marks. Now we want to replace them with a space. So just simply type in a space there and click replace all. And what this has done is it's removed the soft carriage returns, so that whatever software you paste this text into now, you will be able to edit it without having to individually remove all those carriage returns. Right, so finished with that screen. Click back in the document. Now we've still got our editing marks, so to remove them we click there again. Now we've got some text in a more usable format, so highlight all that. Now personally I prefer it to be a bit bigger, so I'm just changing the font, and then we're going to cut and paste this back into our notebook. You can copy it if you want. I cut it because I tend to be doing several videos at a time when I'm following this process. So if I cut it, my blank document's ready there for the next one. So cut the text, return to our notebook, select an insertion point, right click and paste, and there we have it. Now I'm sure most of you will find this very useful. Everything, this video and its transcription, all in one place. And again, just to show you a bit more of the functionality of OneNote, you can, if you want, if there are relevant files that you want to include, then you can just use the link function. And within OneNote, you might want to link to another OneNote article. Just picking an example here. It's this is nothing to do, but there we go. The link's created there. Or you might want to link a file that you've got stored in your nice flat file structure. So again, link, address. And here we go. Go to my documents. Go to my digital marketing with Nick folder. And I'm looking for images, icons. There we go. All the information is together in one easily accessible space. And like I say, you can go on from this to build up a whole portfolio of what you need to organise, plan and follow your work. I trust that's all been useful to you. This is Big Nick signing off. Thanks for watching.